Several of the talks I'm doing this year are in the theme of agile engineering practices, which I think is probably the least researched and talked about part of agile development, the actual touching of keys. And one of my favorite talks in that series is this idea of emergent design. I really talk about two different aspects of emergent design, one of which is this idea that you can't really predict the kinds of design problems that are going to appear in software, especially if you're trying to do design up front, because you don't have enough context to really understand the problem. And emergent design, part of emergent design is this idea of putting off decisions until the last responsible moment. The other aspect of emergent design is when you have an existing code base and there are design elements lurking in there that you've never really discovered before that probably came about in a variety of different ways and evolved over time, but are now really key parts of your overall design that you'd like to be able to harvest. I show some tools and techniques for being able to harvest existing designs that are in your code that you haven't seen before. In fact, I show an example of taking a well-known web framework, Struts, and using some of these techniques to discover some design elements that have been lurking in there over a decade and haven't really been pulled out yet because no one's really applied this technique. So this talk is really about understanding design in software, the implications of design in software, how to learn to defer decisions until you have more context, can make better decisions, the way to harvest design elements out of code once you've discovered them, and I also show how to implement Pac-Man and what implications that has for enterprise software development.